motion we are debating today is global research in artificial intelligence should be suspended. So, if you are ready, do you want me to? No. Okay. So please, first speaker, Pietro, the floor.
Allora, my speech will start in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody. I'm Pietro Quattromani, the first speaker of the proposition team. It is crucial to analyze some terms of the motion. The first one is research. Research means the study of a subject in order to gain new knowledge of the subject itself. And it's crucial to differentiate it from studying. Studying means gaining knowledge, so not new knowledge, but just knowledge of a subject. Then the second term is suspend. That means temporarily stop something. Indeed, it is crucial to suspend the research of the AI in order to study better and create a regulation to limit the risk of the artificial intelligence. But what are the risks of artificial intelligence? There are plenty, and they are about the individual, about the humanity, and about the environment. So for the individual, we have the loss of privacy. Indeed, there are huge risks of data breaches, so they can steal your data. Then there are algorithm bias, so there's some risk that there would be an unfair treatment of the artificial intelligence based on race and class. And then there's the risk of manipulation. Indeed, artificial intelligence can manipulate the human mind because it's capable of create conversation with us. Then there are the risks that concern humanity in general. And why is that? Because AI can be used as a weapon, a really dangerous weapon, and this can lead to more dangerous war, and so it can be used for military purpose, and it can escalate, so it's really dangerous. And then there's the risk that AI can surpass human mind, and the way that he acts cannot follow our ethics, our moral, so it can be really dangerous. Then, as I said, the final one is the risk for environment. Indeed, AI use database. They are like giant digital filing cabinets, and they use a lot of energy, and obviously energy needs electricity, and electricity leads to carbon emissions. So, acknowledge all of the risks. It is necessary to suspend the research of the AI in order to create a right regulation of the use of the artificial intelligence. It is necessary because we believe in security and sustainability. Indeed, there are 3 points in favor of what I'm saying. The first one is the ethical and legislative guidelines, and I will explain that. Then there are the other 2 that will be explained by the second speaker, Valerio De Falco, global security risks and risks on the environment. So, the need of the suspension and of a regulation can be seen in the AI Act. What is the AI Act? Is a European proposed regulation on artificial intelligence. So in our world currently we can see there's the need of regulation because there is none. And the regulation must focus on the algorithms, and so particularly on the control protocols, so it can be safer. Suspending artificial intelligence temporarily give us the time to study better AI and understand how we can regulate it in a safe way and how we can use it at best. It's so important. The suspension of the research does not impede current AI utilization, so we can still use it while we stop the research and can find a way to regulate it. The need of regulation
AI.
I accept it.
But how would you regulate AI?
We can. That's not the focus on the motion, but by studying it, we can find, the expert can find the right way to regulate it. But obviously, that's not the focus of the motion. We are discussing why we need to suspend in order to regulate it. So the need of a suspension is not something that only us are affirming, but even the leaders of the AI, the ones that opened the research, the leader of the research. Indeed, there's one open letter of about 1,000 technology leaders, including Elon Musk, so one of the most famous AI supporters. They are asking to the government to stop the research because it is dangerous. They are affirming the AI develops are locked in an out-of-control race that develop and delay always even more. So not even the creators of the AI can follow it anymore because it accelerates too fast. This thing, the AI is shaping our world, is a new force capable of incredible things, but it is really dangerous, and even the leaders are, even the one that did the research, are really scared of it.
Guy,
I accept it.
why are you ignoring all the benefits that could come from AI?
I'm not saying that there are no benefits. Indeed, I said that it has a lot of potential, but we cannot ignore the risks. To benefit of all the benefit of the artificial intelligence, we need to regulate it first. Because with the regulation, it will be safer, and if it is safer, we can use it better, and you see even more than we are using it today. So actually, suspend it for a temporary time is a way to actually develop it more after. Going back to the speech. The open letter called a pause in the development of AI. This time will provide the time necessary for argumentation. And if we suspend and regulate artificial intelligence, humanity can finally enjoy the benefits of the AI without all the risks, and we will see we can call it a spring of the artificial intelligence, and we all will benefit of it. Thank you all for your attention. My speech will now.
Thank you for your speech. It lasted 7 minutes and 33 seconds.
My speech will start in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, I am Simona Botta, the first speaker of the opposition team. And today we are debating about AI, which are intelligent systems which are all around us. And this is inevitable. AI is the protagonist of the revolution which is changing our society. As it happened with every revolution of the history, well, the first reaction of masses is to be scared, is to build a wall. It is also demonstrated by studies of psychology. One example is the study of Barbara Bandelli, a therapist in Florence. People tend to block something new, to maintain their equilibrium, and opening to something new would be very scary and would damage this equilibrium, this balance. In fact, it happened, for example, for the first industrial revolution, but it is exactly what is happening now. the proposition team stated that there are benefits, but there are also risks, and we cannot deny that AI has risk. But we have to also consider the benefits, the positive sides, and the inevitable sides of AI as well. In fact, what are, for example, some positive sides? Well, we cannot deny that AI, because of how it is created, which, by the way, what is AI? AI refers to systems which display the capabilities, which mimic the human decision-making capabilities and discernment in certain activities. And for this reason, it is crucial that it is used in more crucial fields, such as we can say medicine. It was used, for example, in the COVID pandemic, when it collected the data over the decades, then analyzed it, and foresaw how the pandemic would evolve. Or it is also used in environmental issues. For example, it is used to predict the weather, to track where the icebergs are located, or even to identify pollution. So we cannot deny that AI is useful in many crucial fields. But the proposition team stated that AI is not regulated, and we need to stop the research. So finding something new to study what we have. But the point is, if studying what we have means that we can acquire more knowledge about what we have, and the knowledge that we acquire is new. So this is a contradiction, because how can you study something without discovering something new? It would mean that you're only studying on the books, that you're only studying what already is written and not something new. But this doesn't make sense. This is research. So this is a contradiction in the definition of the proposition team, which, by the way, didn't even focus on how the machine would apply. Yes.
Don't you think that there is a difference between studying and developing new technologies? That's what we said.
Yes, but the study is what leads you to the development. Because if you study something, you acquire more knowledge, and then you can move forward, you can develop more the system, you can enhance the system. So the point is that the proposition team didn't even focus on how to apply the motion. They said a global regulation is needed, but how would we do it? Who would impose this regulation? Who would create this document which would regulate, like the EU AI Act, which they called up? But if they nominated this document, so is this not efficient enough? Is there not already a regulation on AI? This is our question. And so we believe that AI, as we said before, has positive sides, but it has also inevitable sides. In fact, it is all around us, as I stated. And it is for better or for worse. And even though people, as the study of psychologists demonstrated, are scared of changes because they want to maintain things as they are, we cannot let their fears take control. We have to move forward, because history taught us that changes are both inevitable and positive, because they always bring one step forward. So we believe that research on AI can lead to these changes, and we believe that this should not and cannot be suspended for three main reasons. Because progress must not be stopped, because research would continue illegally, and because it is pointless to suspend the research. First of all, progress must not be stopped. It is not right to stop any kind of research. And why is that? Because research is the most human of activities. It was believed by Aristotle, by Francis Bacon, or even by poets. For example, Dante wrote in the Divina Commedia, he reported Ulysses' words. For example, fatti non foste a viver come bruti, ma per seguir virtute e conoscenza. So, research is an intrinsic characteristic of the human nature. In fact, whenever we find something new, whenever we are studying something and we find something new, we are driven to find something more, to move forward with the research because we want to develop what we have, we want to discover more. Therefore, suspending, rejecting, blocking, or prohibiting any kind of research would deny this human nature. And we cannot do this because people are scared of change. We cannot let our fears take control. We cannot let this diffused conservative idea take control and not enable us to move forward. So, in particular, it is particularly wrong when it is politics that is the subject which blocks the research. One example is what happened to Galileo Galilei. He tried to demonstrate that the Earth revolves around the Sun, but the Church tried to shut him down. No, thank you. But the Church tried to shut him down. And what happened next? It was demonstrated that the Earth revolves actually around the Sun, and now we cannot think of our galaxy in another way. Or another example could be Lysenkoism. Lysenkoism was a political campaign which was against genetics and science-based agriculture. For this campaign, more than 3,000 mainstream biologists were either dismissed or imprisoned, and many scientists were executed in the Soviet campaign to suppress scientific opponents. Or another example could be during the Hitler's dictatorship, when Hitler forced scientists to sign the Manifesto of Race, which affirmed that races exist and that they do depend on biological factors. But nowadays we know that this is absolutely wrong. So whenever research was stopped, a disaster would happen. But research is the synonym of evolution. In fact, if we have come to this point, it's because researchers have studied, they have discovered something new thanks to acquiring knowledge. So if we have come to this point, this is only thanks to researchers. So we believe that research on AI should not be suspended. Thank you.
Thank you for your speech. It lasted 8 minutes, 18 seconds. So you have this already? Okay then, Valerio De Falco, please,
Yes.
you can start your speech.
So my speech is starting in 3, 2, 1. Hello everyone, I'm Valerio De Falco, the second speaker of the proposition team, and I'm going to debunk what has been said by the other team. Well, let's start from the fact that you said that AI is all around us. Well, that's the whole point of this debate. AI is all around us. The change is inevitable. That's why change is inevitable. That's the whole point. Because change is inevitable, we have to act now, because progress hasn't always meant progress. An example of that is the atomic bomb. Atomic bomb is development, is change, is new technology. But what has it caused? Millions of deaths. So that's the whole point. We are not against development. We are not against technology. We are for ethics, curiosity, progress, development. It's good. In fact, we support development, but after we reach an ethical legislative agreement. You accused us that we didn't propose a way of realizing this agreement or reaching this agreement. Well, that's not the focus of the debate. We just think that it should happen. We should reach an agreement. But because you asked, we think that because we should globally suspend research, we think that a global institution like the UN could, in a way or another, stop research on this sector, on AI. Then let's talk about the fact that you said that we said AI has no benefits. We never said that. Because we want AI benefits to be used in a correct way, we need to suspend AI research because we need to take time. We need to take time in order to reach an agreement, an ethical and legislative agreement. That's the whole point. We need time because development is faster than law. That's the whole problem. In fact, he talked about, Pietro talked about AI Act, and that's the problem. AI research is faster than the AI Act, which was proposed in 2018 and has been approved in 2024. How many things have changed since 2024? A lot of things. And in the end, I want to say that we think that AI should be analyzed, should be studied. The current technologies that we have should be analyzed, which doesn't mean developing new AIs, training new AIs, and emitting a lot of carbon of CO2 in the atmosphere. This is what I had to say. Now let's talk about my 2 points. My first point is global security risks. The second one is risks on the environment. Let's talk about the global security risks. As Pietro said before, there are a lot of risks related to individuals, but also to global. In fact, those risks are global because AI in the status quo, in the first part of my point, I will talk about the status quo, but then later I will talk about the consequence in the far future, in the long term. So in the status quo, AI is already manipulating, is already controlling individuals and even countries, heads of states. Why? Because AI, by spreading misinformation and fake news, and there is evidence in favor of that, I accept.
Don't you think this is a risk related to the use of AI rather than its research?
Yeah, that's the whole point. Thank you for your question. Because that's a problem of the use of AI. We need to regulate the use of AI. And by stopping research is the only way, because AI is faster. And let's remember that AI is a self-learning machine. Therefore, if we leave AI alone, developing on itself, then it means that it will take control over the world, and this is what I'm gonna say. Thank you for your question. That's why we need to stop AI research, so that we can regulate the use of AI. Okay, the evidence in favor of what I've said are the many deep fakes about the Israel-Palestine wars. That's a whole article of the Washington Post that I'm seeing, and an analysis of CryoPoint, a tech company based in San Francisco, which assessed the validity of online claims. The CEO of this company, Jean-Claude Goldenstein, said that it's going to get worse, a lot worse, before it gets better. That's what we are saying. We need to regulate AI because it's going to get worse. Pictures, video and audio. With generative AI, it's going to be an escalation you haven't seen. Once again, the creators of AI systems, like Pietro has said before, and also this CEO has said, are the most scared people about AI. They are scared of what they have created, because AI is a powerful tool that has benefits, but the risks are too many. So fake news have since May, false articles have increased a lot. False articles created by AI over more than 1,000%, from 49 sites. More than 600 sites are starting diffusing fake news about AI. So that's the whole point. Now, in the second part of my point, I'm going to say that in the future there is another problem. The problem is that AI could become so powerful that governments will start fighting in order to take control of AI. So conflicts between China and USA, economical conflicts, already exist in the status quo, but in the future it will be also a military way. And that's of course an example of that is once again, the atomic bomb. In the past, they have started competing in order to develop this technology, and that's the same. In the future, we could reach a point where they could fight in order to gain control of this technology. So now, this brings us to our my second point, the risks on the environment. Let's say that the whole point about the risks on the environment are data servers, data centers, which are big servers, which which AI is trained. So these servers are active 24 hours a day for months in order to develop, to train AI, because it self-learns. And emit two types of CO2 emissions, according to Microsoft itself: operational carbon emissions and embodied carbon emissions. What are operational carbon emissions? They are the emissions that are caused by non-renewable energy, non-carbon-free energies. While embodied carbon emissions are because of the fracturing process. So the two kinds of problems that I'm going to talk about are the use of natural resources, which are a lot, because we need natural resources in order to make those servers, in order to make those computers, etc. And the other one is because of water. We need a lot of water to cool down these servers, because these servers are active 24 hours a day for months. They eat up a lot, and we need a lot of water in order to cool down those ones. So who is going to pay? I will conclude my intervention asking, who is going to pay this situation? Of course, less developed countries. Less developed countries will suffer these natural resources waste, these water waste. They are going to suffer, and that's why we need to globally suspend AI research in order to reach an agreement, regulate AI research, and then we can take all the benefits and restart researching on AI. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for your speech. It lasted 8 minutes, 29 seconds. Second speaker, the opposition. Tell me when it's starting.
I'll start in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, I'm Erika Gallo, the second speaker of the opposition team. First of all, I'd like to restate the fact that we are in opposition with the statement of the proposition team. So we think that global research in AI should not be suspended. But before starting to explain our last 2 points of our team line that I'd like to remember is that we think this because progress must not be stopped, research would continue illegally, and it is pointless to suspend research. These last 2 points, I'd like to explain them later. But now I'm going to rebut what the other team has said. First of all, they contradicted themselves when it came to the definitions. Because with the first speaker, they said that research is the study of a subject to gain new knowledge. However, later, when we asked them again, they said that it was the development of AI. However, we think that, as the first speaker already said, that by studying AI, new knowledge is acquired. So this is the contradiction also in the difference between studying and researching. Because when you study something, you are also discovering always something new. Therefore, studying AI would mean also to research AI. And also later they said that, however, research also means development, so they said that it meant something else. But I'd also like to say that they said that AI is causing a lot of environmental issues. However, they are not taking into consideration also the positive things that AI can do. For example, it can foresee environmental crises, it can monitor icebergs, it can identify pollution, it can create new agricultural methods that are less impactful on the environment. But let's say that AI also might have some impact on the environment. However, how does stopping research stopping the environmental issues? Just 1 second. Because also the simple use of AI is something that is polluting. So by stopping only research, this problem is not fixed. And also we have to consider all the others all the others negative aspects that come with suspending research that I'm going to repeat later. Yes, please.
So you're saying that the foreseen of climate problems is better than the whole problems that are at the base of AI that makes it a polluting technology. At the base of the AI, it is polluting.
Well, certainly foreseeing environmental crisis is always something that is very useful, because let's pretend that there is a flood, there is going to be a flood. AI can predict that, and that is going to help whoever is near that flood. So AI is very useful in that occasion. And also, as they said, AI is polluting per se. Therefore, stopping the research is not going to fix that problem. But now I'm going to talk about our other 2 points of our team line. The fact that research would continue illegally. Because this moratorium is actually positive and effective. Yasser Abu Mustafa says no, and he is one of the members of the Caltech AI. And he says this because the bad guy, this would give the bad guys only a head start to only further their own agendas. This means that they would keep on doing what they are already doing, but in secret, illegally, and this is much worse. This would create an even more unsafe and dangerous environment. But let's consider a similar scenario. The use and sales of drugs. What happened when the first laws were enforced? For example, in Italy in 1990, the first law against drugs was enforced. And what were the results? In only 2 years, people who use drugs passed from 23,000 to 36,000. But let's take another example. In 1971, in Vienna, the Convention on Psychotropic Substances was signed. And what were the results years later, in 2019? What are the governments saying about the situation? They are saying that illegal plantation and illegal trafficking are expanding. But there's also another example. Cannabis was forbidden in the USA. However, in the 80s, they became the biggest producer in the world. So what does that says to us? Well, that says that whenever something is prohibited, or like in this case, then the legal market just starts to expand. Why is this? Well, because when people express a need, even if that need becomes illegal, economic powers will find a way to satisfy that need, even if illegally. And the same thing would happen with the suspension of the research on AI. Therefore, this suspension would only bring to danger and unsafety. But not only is the suspension of the research on AI morally wrong, counterproductive, but also useless. But why is this? Well, because research on AI, as they also said, is so widespread. And what does it mean? It means that it is impossible to make sure that everyone would actually follow this suspension. No, thank you. Because therefore it would be useless to put such a suspension. For example, in 2020, there were more than 90,000 patents that were submitted globally. And also, these submitters were mostly private companies. In fact, for example, according to a report by Stanford University, in 2023, industry produced 51 notable machine learning models, while academia, which is the other main sector, only 15. Therefore, how is it possible to make sure that these private companies will actually follow this suspension? Also, it is even more complicated if we think about the fact that the AI 50 ranking by Forbes in 2023 also included companies from all over the world, from the Israeli Imagine AI and Trigo to the English Poly AI and the Japanese RevCom. Therefore, making sure that this suspension is followed would be even more complicated. Therefore, it is pointless to suspend research on AI. Thank you.
Thank you for your speech. It lasted 8 minutes and 2 seconds. So, please, Raffaele, it's your turn.
Yes.
Please take the field.
Okay. So, my speech will start in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everyone. I am Raffaele Parisi, the third speaker of the proposition team to the motion that states this House believes that global research in AI should be suspended. During my speech, I'm going to debunk some of the points brought by the opposition team, and then I'm going to rebuild what was my team's argumentative line. So, there was a point of clash during this debate about the definition that my team gave of research. The first speaker said that the first speaker of the opposition team said that we gave a contradicting definition of the term research, and also the second speaker of the opposition team said that we contradicted ourselves about the definition because we made a mistake by saying that research is actually development and not just study. So our team is not debating how we should regulate AI, but why we should stop the research to try and contain its risks. So it's not really about the definition, but it's more about why we should stop the research. Moreover, we actually said that research is the development of new technologies, and the study is analyzing what we already know, so to acquire new knowledges, but without acquiring new knowledges about the topics that are already researched, but not research new topics. So it's a way to better understand how AI works, to contain its risks, but not without exploring new fields of this tool. In fact, we should research actually to a point that gives us the opportunity to actually use AI to a fraction of its potential and permits us to temporarily suspend its research and actually study the tool to contain its risks. Unlike the opposition team said, the first speaker of the opposition team said, how can we study without researching? That's the answer. We actually suspend the research temporarily to study and analyze what we already know about the AI to contain its risks and future benefit from it in the future actually when we restart the research and have a better understanding of the tool. Also, the first opposition...
Joy,
Yes.
if you agree with us that the problem of AI is in its use, why stopping the research would solve the problem of the use of AI?
The problem of AI is not in the use. AI is a powerful tool, but the problem in AI is that it's an unknown tool. We know not very much about AI, so researching other things about AI could be a potential risk for security, as we said in the second point brought by our team. As I was saying. Also, the first speaker of the opposition team said that changes are both inevitable and positive. I do not agree with the second part of the sentence because, yes, changes are inevitable but not always positive. As my second speaker said, nuclear bombs were a thing back then. When nuclear energy was discovered, it was a powerful new technology that everyone thought was actually a positive thing, but nuclear bombs then were created. And nuclear bombs were responsible for the apocalypse of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That's obviously a terrible, a terrible genocide. So changes are not both inevitable and positive. Sometimes changes could be negative, so we need to make the changes about AI positive by regulating what we have right now in AI and stopping the research, suspending the research. The first opposition speaker said also that research is the most characteristic of the human nature. Supposing we don't suspend research and utilize AI fully as we have right now, considering its risks, it is possible that humanity won't be in charge of AI anymore, but AI would be in charge of the human. So there wouldn't be much of the human nature left to cherish. So it's an apocalypse. There could be an apocalypse if we don't regulate AI now. The second opposition speaker said that by just suspending research, the polluting problem that we presented in our third point would be not solved. Actually, we could reallocate funds from AI research to the proper sector, so to the sector of sustainable development, yes, to hit actually two birds with one stone. So by reallocating funds that are subtracted by the AI research, we could direct them in another direction, yes, into the sustainable development field, and solve the two problems at the same time. Also, she said that whenever something is prohibited, the black market expands, and yes, the same thing could happen to AI. In the first place, suspending AI's research does not mean that AI is prohibited. The use of AI is still legal, but the research is suspended because, as I said earlier, we do not know much about the AI. AI contains a lot of risks in itself, and by researching other things, we could face problems that we are not ready to face. As we said earlier, for example, the biometric problem, or also the generative AI that could generate and generate fake news, for example. Also, in second place, if a law is difficult to address into reality, it should be approved. That's obviously not true. If a law is difficult to apply, we need to find a way to apply that law into reality, because we know that that law is something good for society. And so we need to approve it. Now I'm going to rebuild what was my team's argumentative line. The first speaker, Pietro, said that the establishment of an ethical and legal agreement is something necessary. In fact, if AI Act proves that we need laws, but research is much faster than law. So we need to find a balance and an agreement between the two, and that's why suspending research is necessary. Then my second speaker, Valerio De Falco, talked about global security risks, and also how the AI impacts on the environment. In fact, AI pollutes because of data centers that are always active and powered by non-renewable energy. Also, their manufacturing pollutes, and also their cooling system. So that's why we need to stop AI research. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Raffaele. Your speech lasted 8 minutes and 3 seconds. So I see you're ready.
Yes, I am.
Sara.
My speech will start in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everyone. I'm Sara Tupino, and I'm the third speaker of the opposition team. First of all, I would like to bring to the attention of the judges contradiction between the second and the third speaker, but I would rather say also the first speaker of the proposition team. When I asked a question to the second speaker of the proposition team, asking whether they don't think that the real risk of AI lays in its use rather than the research, they said that they agreed. But when I asked the same exact question to the third speaker, he said that the risk did not lay in the use rather than it's in the research. So that's a contradiction of the proposition team. But let's say that they did recognize that the real risk of AI lay in its use, because they still debated the whole debate, saying that the risk is in its use, and I quote the first speaker saying that the risk of AI lays in communication, military use, and the fact that it uses electricity. No, thank you. So they do agree that the real risk of AI lay in its use. Well, then there is a cognitive bias in the debate of the proposition team. That is because they want to regulate the research, which is independent from the use, to solve the risk brought by the use of AI, the illegal use of AI. But that is not going to solve the problem. Stopping the research won't solve the problem that are caused by the use of AI. But it will cause another problem. As we said in our first argument, explained by first speaker of my team, suspending the research will deny the human nature. We said that the human nature, and we cited Aristotle, Dante, Bacon, and we said that many of the greatest minds of our history agreed on this point. So it must, just a second. So it must be true. We said that the real human nature lays in the fact that human is curious. So it needs to experimentate, to do research, to acquire new knowledge, as they said in their definition of research, to create new things. So stopping the research won't solve the problem that you recognize are the real problems of the AI, but it just denies the human nature. Yes?
So you're saying that suspending research on one single sector is denying human nature, and acquiring time in order to regularize AI is against human nature?
Yes, it is, because as it is a research, stopping it would deny the human nature. Even if we continue do research in other fields, we will still be curious of what lays behind AI, which, by the way, we created, so we must know something of it. And suspending the research will deny the human nature. Just the fact that we think we should suspend something that defines human makes us unhuman. Then I would like to bring to your attention that they talked about the fact that AI caused a lot of pollution, but they failed to recognize, and we brought about this in our debate, that AI can actually help solve the environmental problem by foreseeing climatic crisis, by developing new methods of agriculture, by monitoring icebergs and sea, and that helped us a lot with the climatic emergency. But I would like to bring to your attention that a report by Nature of 2023 stated that many agencies that are sensible about the topic of the environment and actually style a list of problems which are connected to the environment, said that they benefit from the use of AI to solve this problem. This, for example, is brought about, is said by Nature that this agency use AI to create affordable and clean energy. So they fail to recognize in their debate that AI can actually help us a lot with the resolution of some of the big problems of our times. They also said that in their third argument that if we leave the AI alone, it will control us. But I think they fail to recognize that AI is an autonomous technology rather than an independent one. That means that it can bring about some thoughts of its own, but it can be independent from the human oversight. If we don't, no. if we don't give an input to the AI, it won't give us anything. And also, I would like to bring to your attention that, as they stated, AI works relying on electricity. And there's a very simple way in which we can stop electricity, which is unplugging the plug. So if we think that AI will take over us and control us, we can just unplug the plug of the machine, and AI won't work anymore. But coming back to the point that AI is not independent, I would like to say that AI cannot exist without the human. So if we're not there to control AI, it won't do anything. It's not independent, it's just autonomous. So it can take over us, it's not in its power. And even if we stop the research on that, which you would like to suspend, as you said, the real risk of AI lay in its use, so that's not, suspending the research will really not give us the solution to all of us problem. Also, I would like to bring to your attention that the proposition team did not give us a plan on the way they want to stop these the research on AI, and rather prefer saying that that is not the topic of the debate. But as we asked many times, if they want to suspend something, they must give us a way in which this should be done. Because if not done properly, this could bring us more disadvantages than advantages. So not deciding to ignore the way this suspension will be made could make it more dangerous than the status quo is. Also, I would like to bring to your attention that they said that they still want to allow the use of AI when the suspension will be made, but as they said, the use of AI is what is really risky about it, and we want to say that now AI is used in a not very legal way. As they said, it can manipulate information and steal data, and that is illegal. So I think we should rather think about the use of AI rather than the research, because that is where the real problem is. And we, I want to reaffirm that our team believes that research should not be suspended, because that would mean denying the human nature. That would mean that the research will continue illegally, as a matter of fact, and as it happened before, and because it is useless to stop the research. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for your speech. It lasted 8 minutes, 20 seconds. Okay. So please, if the judges. Okay. So you can start, please.
My speech will start in 3, 2, 1. Good morning again. I'm here to do the reply speech now, and I would like to start with the main point of clash. The proposition team demonstrated and stated that they are scared of this change because they built a wall, because they are scared of how AI can take control. But we believe that research is, as we stated, an intrinsic characteristic of the human nature, and so this is exactly what we should work towards, because we believe that the only way to eliminate the fear, the only way to fight our fear is to know, is to study, is to gain knowledge, which means that we have to research, we have to acquire new knowledge about the same thing by studying it. And one of the main points that we can study, for example, is environment, another point of clash, because on one side they believe that stopping research would change this problem, would solve this environmental issue. But the point is that we demonstrated that AI is polluting per se. This is not suspending research would not change this thing, even because we are still studying AI, so we're still using it. So, and we cannot even deny that AI helps us a lot, especially in environmental issues. So we believe that researching would only increase this ability to help us, and this would only create a better world and an even a fresher air, for example, or a safer voyage, because we know where the icebergs are located. And so, which is the problem of AI? For the proposition team, the problem of AI is that we don't know enough. We need to study what we have, we need to know everything we can about what we already have before moving forward. But this is because they are scared of AI taking control. They are scared of AI becoming both autonomous and independent. But as AI is now, it is autonomous, but we have stated that it is not independent. So it cannot exist without we cannot exist without humans. So if the problem of AI is actually that we don't know enough, this is exactly the reason to continue research, to continue acquire new knowledge, even about the systems we already have, but to move forward with what we want to know, so with the research. So we debated a lot about this suspension, and they believe that the suspension is right because we need to regulate AI. But we demonstrated that it is not only useless, but also counterproductive. Do you want a safer world or a more dangerous one? The suspension would only create a dangerous one, because it would only increase criminality and illegal research. So they started their speech by saying that they want to defend security and sustainability. And this is exactly why we should continue research, and we should focus on this research in AI, because it would only help us, and it would only create a better world with more solutions and more effective solutions. Thank you for listening.
So 4 minutes and 6 seconds. Please.
My speech is starting 3, 2, 1. Hello everyone, I'm Valerio again. And during this debate, you have witnessed, dear judges, the opposition of two words, the words of the proposition team, the word of sustainability, and the opposition with the opposition team, which is the word of unsustainability. Well, during this whole debate, there was one common point: the benefits of AI. We both recognize the benefits of AI, but on the one hand, we have the opposition team who said that laws limits the development. Therefore, they ignored all the problems that the status quo has. While our team acknowledges all the problems, all the risks related on the AI. So, on the one hand, we have the word of responsible development, while on the other hand, we have the word of blind development, a word without laws, a word without an objective, development without an objective nor an end. That's the whole point of the debate. But another common point is the irresponsible use of AI. The problem, but we also acknowledge the fact that the problem is not only in the use, but also on the at the base of AI, of how it's trained, so how it's developed. There are two problems of the status quo that we acknowledge, but the other team didn't acknowledge. So, let's see another point of crash during this debate. Well, the other team said that we do not have a model. Well, we said that there should be a reallocation of funds in the proper sector, the ecological sector, and that the use of AI and the research of AI should be regularized by a global institution like the UN. But on the other hand, we had the opposition team word, which is a word of blind progress, blind development, once again, because they didn't have knowledge of the problems of the status quo and didn't bring us an efficient solution, or why the status quo will solve its problems on himself. There is literally no reason. Well, during this debate we have showed you that we were the word of ethical research or regularized research, while the other team it's research without laws. Well, we were also the word of fairness, because we said that we have recognized the problems of poorer countries, while on the other hand we were the word while on the other hand they were the word of unsustainability, of the problems of the status quo that have no solutions. So, in the end, I want to conclude my speech by saying that during this debate, the opposition of these two words brought to the winning, of course, of our model or our word, in which the human nature stands in ethics, in justice, in the ethical development, in the responsible progress, while the other team showed to be the team of the blind development of the human nature stands in economical gain, economical profit, because that's what AI is in the status quo. I want also to say that our team was the team of reality, because we recognized the problems, we recognized the fact that research is faster than laws, while the other team is the team of utopia, because AI and the status quo will solve its own problems on themselves. And then I want to ask you to conclude my speech. How is it going to happen? Thank you.
Thank you. 4 minutes and 4 seconds. So I want to thank you for this debate.